so I can share out as needed. But again, thank you all for joining. For those that don't know me, my name is Irvin Humphrey. I'm the Director of Sports Training and Competition for Special Olympics Arkansas. With these calls, again, a lot of you know just without having a South Central conference and us being able to meet, I also see UCS programs, help programs kind of having a call just to bounce ideas and things off of each other. So I thought it would be good as a sport, from the sports perspective, to kind of bounce ideas off each other, get feedback, and just start those connection pieces. So that's kind of the meaning of the call. Initially, I sent out just a questionnaire. I'll send it out each month. So if there's any questions that you'd like to ask, I'm just going to ask those questions, and any program that would like to answer, they can just answer and try to help those other programs out. Right this week, this month, we only have three questions. So if anybody else has any other questions afterwards, feel free to answer it. Feel free to ask, I should say. Um, I will, well, since we only have six on again, let's everybody introduce yourselves real fast. Trevor, I'll start with you. You're in my top left.
Hi, I'm Trevor. I'm the sports coordinator for Special Olympics Oklahoma. I worked here for 5 months now.
Awesome. Schaefer, I'll start going to your side.
Um, I'm Susan Schaefer, training director with Special Olympics, just starting my 28th year.
Luke.
Yeah, I'm Luke Lamb with Special Olympics Missouri. I'm the Senior Director of Programming, and I'm coming up on my 4 year anniversary here this spring.
Awesome, awesome. Madeline.
I'm Maddie. I don't know why it's under Madeline, but I'm the training coordinator at Special Olympics Oklahoma. I've been here for about almost 2.5 years.
Okay. Haley.
Hello, I am the volunteer coordinator at Special Olympics Oklahoma, and I've been here for about 6 months now.
Okay. And Craig.
Craig, Special Olympics Missouri, Director of Competition, and I'm almost 3 years.
Okay. Sweet, sweet. And for myself, it'll be 11 years, September, matter of fact. So time flies for sure when you're having fun, but welcome those that are new, those that have been around without throughout the program. There's a lot of wisdom. So again, as I always say, don't be afraid to reach out to anyone, get feedback. That's what I do all the time. And I think this will help me from sending those one out emails like, hey, Schaefer, what do you guys do for this? And instead of reaching out to all of the programs here, I think that'll help me and other programs as well. So starting out here, the first question, it will be to a select few programs, but it revolves around COE. Just kind of an update on COE, if there's any, specifically the GMS portion, if there has been any updates there with the COE Center of Excellence program.
They showed us at Oklahoma a like preview of the GMS Online portion. I want to say like a month ago. Um, it was a very rough draft. Um, and a lot of it they were still building, and they I kind of I asked them a lot of questions, and they ended up adding me into the SME meetings, which like everybody that's like doing the portal and COE, that's like a meeting for like the sports people to be involved to like actually, because a lot of the people that are building that stuff, they don't really have like not a lot of those people have worked in sports for any program. They worked for like programs, but not necessarily in the sports side. So trying to get um, they're trying to gather opinions and how each program kind of runs their own thing and like what they'd like to see in there. Um, it was okay the way that they had it set up. It looks promising, but I couldn't really like the way that what they showed me was definitely not in like a usable place at the time. But they have also, in all the meetings that we have with them, they like say that they say they haven't given us a hard like date, but they say it's in the future that it will be like ready to go. So
We're looking 2027-ish for sure.
yeah.
It'll get done when I'm retired. I've been waiting for that long. It'll be
Oh,
done when I retire. 10 years.
appreciate that update, Trevor. Anything else? Any questions, COE wise, for anybody? Luke?
Yeah, well, first, Shafe, I need you for about 30 more years, so you can't
No, it
retire.
ain't happening. Not happening.
And is this going to replace the current GMS? I honestly don't know much about the COE, and we in Missouri we use GMS heavily. I don't know how many other states use it, but we use it for, I mean, divisioning, bracketing, printing, heat sheets, all those things, tracking, registered athletes, registered coaches, all unified partners. So we use it heavily. It has gotten clunky, and it seems like it's not working as well as it used to. So is the idea for the COE to develop a new GMS? It sounds like it's going to be an online version. Did I get that correct?
Sort of. When we talked with them, kind of they said that they were building it so that it could be a standalone thing. So programs that aren't even using like the portal side of like COE could use GMS Online for their sports programs without having to use the portal. Um, but I don't know if it's completely replacing it. I haven't asked that question, but as far as what they were saying was it was just going like it doesn't even operate the same way that GMS does. The way you would recognize GMS, it doesn't look anything like that. It looks more like well, Haley could tell you, it looks like the volunteer side of the portal for us. Like that's what we would recognize it as. But if you don't use the portal, it's supposed to be an option for you to use. And the idea is that you'll be able to like have coaches go in there and build their teams in like the online portion. So instead of like doing imports into GMS or like building teams in GMS, the coaches would be able to access it and build their teams. And then you would just like be able to heat bracket and all that stuff. But heating and bracketing, none of that stuff was available in the preview that they showed us. So I'm not really sure what that would look like once it's done. But yeah, from what they were saying, I think that GMS, like the version that most programs use now, is still going to continue to be updated as this is like also being updated. So that would be a good question to ask. I have a list of stuff to ask in our next meeting. So
Yeah, well, that's helpful. Thank you, Trevor. I don't know much about the portal either. Is that for registering athletes, tracking athletes, and coaches? What does the portal do? What does that look like? And I don't want to hijack the whole conversation, but I am curious about that.
we kind of use it for right now. We're using it primarily for volunteers, which we put into effect like the previous year, and then this year we've been using it to track and collect athlete and unified partner health histories and like releases. And everybody, basically anybody that is associated with our organization needs to have a portal account, and any coach, we keep track of their certifications in there, and we keep track of background checks, making sure that they do the protected behaviors and concussion protocol classes that we offer, and as like sport specific training too. So once they go like attend sport specific training and do all that stuff, Maddie and Haley, they both add that stuff to their portal accounts on the backside. So we can see what coach is certified and what. The goal is for, go ahead, Maddie.
I was just about to say we use the portal pretty much for everything except for event signups, like event registration. Everything else we use the portal for.
And the goal is that we have all these teams in there, like as of now, like all of our teams are, well, not completely up to date, but like we have a lot of coaches that have built their teams into the portal. So we're hopeful that the portal is going to connect to the GMS online portion. So once that becomes available, then they won't have to like create a whole new team. But if like for somebody that's not using the portal, you would need to have all your coaches go in there and create their teams like from scratch, like register everybody. But they only have to do it the one time. So for us, they've kind of already done it, and it'll just continue to change like as their as their teams change, people fall off the team or new people come in. But because we've already like had them go in and put all the information in, like once the registering and all that stuff becomes available, we're hopeful that it'll just kind of like come together and connect.
So Maddie and
the
Haley,
way
did
you're
you guys just, oh,
Sorry, go
sorry,
ahead,
Liz,
Schaefer.
did you manually enter that, or is the database COE, is it
So
spreadsheet oriented that we can dump stuff, or is it
yeah,
you manually entered every single person?
I think it was in the summer when we decided that we wanted to start using the coach zone and parent guardian zone. We did a huge import. It depends if you're wanting to do the import. I will say me and John have realized we wish we didn't do the import just because it kind of messed up everything. I wouldn't say everything, but we wished that we didn't do the import and we wished that we started from the beginning with nothing to where we could have coaches create accounts and everything. Um, so I don't know if I would recommend the import. I would recommend starting from zero because it has kind of made it a mess.
The issue we've run into the most is having like merged account or mergeable accounts where we have people that sign up for an account in two different ways. And so you have to merge that for all of their information to be like localized in one account. So you'll have one that was created as like a legacy account, which was from the import, and then you'll have people that are like creating other accounts. And it also changes when they create new accounts with emails. So you're gonna run into those issues anyways, but
I will
the
say
legacy ones.
we did the import, I think, last April, and we're still running into merging issues, and it's been this long. So
I'm going to call them agencies or delegation. So like, Tech Oklahoma's a delegation, like when you go to USA Games. So we call currently our delegations agency. So like 33033 is Pony Bird. So when the coach would have to create that team name, Pony Bird, and then she would add all of her athletes onto that portal, right?
yes, so when we did the import, I will say the issue was when we imported, it imported teams from 10 years ago or athletes from 10 years ago that they graduated 5 years ago. So I mean, there's pros and cons to both. I would say it might be easier if the coach would go in and just add their athletes. I know Haley, we have an Owasso team that has over 600 people. And she's had to go in, add them, or go in and deactivate a whole bunch of people. So, like I said, there is pros and cons to both.
Yeah, so that's what we're trying to do right now is update our GMS. So we're trying to we're getting a new GMS, and we're only bringing over the last 6 years. That's all we're doing.
And other than the issues you kind of just mentioned, do you feel like the portal is a good thing? Is it easier to track who's expired, coaches needing certifications?
This is
Can
recording,
coaches
right?
see if their athletes? Can coaches see if their athletes are
I can pause
expiring?
it.
That type of thing.
They can.
Yeah.
The issues that exist are kind of getting everything together and in. But once everything's in, it is easier. You have a list of everybody that's on there, and there are ways to check and see who's complete and incomplete as far as the health history information that
I would say too, I'm having to meet with a lot of coaches. There's like 3 different ways that coaches are doing medicals. One way is parents are going and creating their own portal account. I would say that's a mess. A lot of parents think creating a portal is entering in all of their athletes' information, their email and everything to where I have to call them and have to tell them, no, you completely did this wrong. We have to completely start over. It's a mess. If the parents are creating a portal account too, we have to go in and merge. So if the parents are creating an account, it's still going to show up on the coach's coach zone as incomplete. So we're having to go in, merge these people. Also, parents are getting their birthdays wrong. Parents are also spelling their kids' names wrong to where it's not even popping up to merge. So that way, it's a lot easier for the coaches, but it's also a disaster. Another way is coaches are holding like a Special Olympics night where they're logging into their coach zone and doing it that way. I think that's the best way I would suggest. Another way is coaches are going in, filling out all the information, sending an email to the parents where they can go in and sign it. So those are like the three ways that I've been telling them to do it. I suggest the Special Olympics night just because it's in the coach zone. It says approved right away, less work for them, less calls, less emails for us. And I've also, with Trevor and Haley, I started like kind of like an office hours where they can join in and I help them walk them through it just because a lot of people are confused. But I will say I like how organized it is where I can look up a coach and I can tell them that they did the general orientation, they did the concussion, we're missing their protective behaviors. So there's just like pros and cons to both.
I will also say the volunteer side is a lot more put together right now since that's been longer. So like I like it personally, like I create all my events and that's where everybody signs up through. So that side's a lot easier than like the coach side, in my opinion.
Well, I will say too, before Haley was the volunteer coordinator, I was the volunteer coordinator, and we did the portal right when it started. We were the guinea pigs. And I think it was a lot less organized when I was there. So it's good to see the growth to where the volunteer side is getting pretty organized and they listen to us as well. We have meetings with them every 2 weeks and we tell them, this is what we would like changed. This is what's amazing. And they're listening to us with what they want to do. So
Great. Sounds promising. I mean, it's obviously working kinks out, and thank you guys for being the guinea pigs so that hopefully in a year or so we'll be able to just jump right in. But sounds like it's what we need. We're heading in the right direction. Just getting there it's going to take some time, it sounds like. Thank you guys. I appreciate all that info.
Yes. Took the words out of my mouth, Luke. We appreciate you all being the guinea pigs. Please take notes and give us those do's and don'ts here in a year or so, I should say, or a couple months, whatever it looks like. But no, we appreciate it. And please keep us up to date if there's any like big changes or anything COE related. So with that, first one, second, Luke, I'm gonna turn it over to you. You mentioned just coach recruitment in general. Just wanted to see what your question was to everyone.
Yeah, so our focus the last few years has been on growth. And we have really grown for registered athletes, Unified Partners. Registered athletes 3 years ago was about 5,000. We're up to 8,000 fully registered athletes. But our coaches, our fully certified coaches, have not kept that pace up. We're in dire need of new coaches, more coaches. I've talked about this a lot. You know, we give day of volunteers a T-shirt. We don't give our coaches that put in so many more hours week after week, month after month. Currently, we don't even give them a T-shirt. So I'm just looking for ideas of how you recruit new coaches, find younger coaches, how you retain coaches, any sort of incentive program, anything at all regarding coach recruitment and or retainment.
I want to say definitely an issue for us too, just that recruitment piece. A lot of the right now, we see a good bit of UCS schools with athletes that are, well, partners, I should say, stepping up to be coaches. So hoping to really branch off with that and utilize them there. But the recruitment piece for us, it's hit or miss when it comes to coaches. A lot of times it's just coaches that step up. We get random emails like, "Hey, I want to coach," and kind of that word of mouth thing. For me, one thing I did start was a coach of the month, just a spotlighting a coach each month. I think that kind of stuck out. I have what I call a coach's post check, just a monthly update to our coaches that I send out, and I highlight that coach during that time, send them a T-shirt, notepad, and a thank you letter, just for everything they do. They've been posting on social media with some of those, and other coaches see it, so getting a lot more feedback in that perspective. So, but just trying to maintain, trying to do what we can, but we're in the same boat for sure, I would say. Anyone else on coaches recruitment, retention, any ideas?
I would just ask, like, how many of your coaches, like, how many of your teams are kind of based in like school age versus more like adult teams?
We are, I know every state's different. I would say we're heavier on the adult side. Would you agree, Susan and Craig? So I would guess, without looking at numbers, we're probably 60 to 70% adult, and 30 to 40 school based. Maybe that might be underestimating the adult population, but we are definitely, now we're growing in UCS and school based quite a bit, so that is catching up. But I would say 60 40 70 30, somewhere in that range.
Because here it feels like we are really heavy in schools and definitely heavy in UCS, but like it feels like every time somebody retires or they move schools, there's another person in that school that kind of steps up and takes that place. So we do get a lot of like there is somewhat of like a coaching turnover through our school age teams, but there seems to always be another like special education teacher or counselor or somebody that works there that takes the reins of the team. And once we get them up to speed, then they're on their own. As far as like our adult teams, I know several of our adult coaches, and they tend to have larger teams.
Yep.
But they've also like a lot of our adult coaches have been doing this for a really, really long time. I don't think we see as many new adult teams as we do school age teams anymore.
I also think
Yeah,
Oklahoma, we're pretty blessed. I don't think we've had that issue yet.
that's great. We definitely see our coaches getting, the average age is definitely getting up there. Like you said, Trevor, our adult coaches are, some have been doing it 30 plus 40 years even. So we definitely would like to see some younger. Irvin, would you mind sending me a copy of what you send out monthly to your coaches, just so I can get an idea of what you're sharing with them? I think those are some great ideas.
Yep, I will send that as soon as we get off of this one. I'll send it to you.
Perfect. Thank you.
We do offer a coaches camp, which we host right after our summer games, right, Manny? It's like right after.
Yeah. And it's at OSU too. I think our coaches really look forward to our summer games just because there's so many. It's like the biggest right now. It's the biggest summer games in North America. And I think we hold a lot of things at our summer games that the coaches look forward to as well. It's not just sports. We also I forget what it's called. It's called Olympic Village, and we have face painting, we have nail painting, we have dental stuff. We have a whole bunch of stuff other than sports that I think the coach, like I said, look forward to as well.
And
On
then
top of the coaches camp.
we collect, Haley has been looking for coaches' gifts for that. This one is what we gave out last year. We gave them tape measures, and it was more out of interest for us because we put it in meters because they're always measuring their track events in feet, and we do it by meters. So, but yeah, that is one of John's favorite things is hosting the coaches camp where they can get certified in pretty much all of the sports that we offer, and we do that over 2-3 days.
It's like a one night stay
Oh, yeah.
at
Okay.
Oklahoma State University. And we also, during that time too, we have like a dinner at the lake and we really build those relationships with these coaches and make sure that they're getting their needs met as well.
So
Yeah, I
it's
had the
just
pleasure of go ahead.
I was
Trevor,
just going to
sorry.
say it's a great time to have that face-to-face contact that you may not always get with like sending emails back and forth. If you're like not at every event, you're not going to meet every coach. But if you host an event for coaches, then you get a little bit more face-to-face time with them.
Yeah,
Do you
I had
go
the
ahead,
pleasure
Luke?
of being on. I had the pleasure of joining you for your summer games 2 or 3 years ago as part of the evaluation team. Wow, yeah, one of the. I can believe it's the biggest in the nation. It's incredible. I got to see the Olympic Village, all those things. I did not know you did a coaches camp after that. What is the attendance roughly like percentage wise? Because we've offered trainings at our Training for Life campus, our headquarters, and we have anywhere from 20 to 50 coaches out of 700 plus. That's the issue we've seen, but maybe having it at an event they're already at might help. So what's your attendance
So
there?
we also have an amazing volunteer base. We've how many? I think we do at least 15. John might be mad. I might be saying this wrong, but we have at least like 15 trainings that are going on. And I would say since school is out, we have a decent, I'm trying to think. I can see if I can go back to last year's. Are you doing that?
I pulled it up. Yeah, there's
Perfect.
140 from last
140 people
that were
came
registered.
last year. So we also do like cornhole and we do burgers, hot dogs, give away free t-shirts. It's probably our LETR t-shirts that haven't gotten sold, but they love it. They think it's amazing. So I really would suggest a coaches camp. I mean, it's hard because everything's going online now. That's what I'm working on is coaches training so we can put it online. I'm kind of worried to see if coaches go down with everything that's going to be online now and we get rid of coaches camp, what will happen?
We see a little bit more positive when we do. We did it with our I did a recognition night coaches training kind of thing, trying to do it all in one. We did a 5-year, 10, and we have a coach that's 40 plus. So we did that, but it was only like 35 show up. Okay. And you go, okay, what can we do next to promote that and to recognize them is how do we do that? But I'm interested. I visited with John quite a bit about his camp, his coaches camp. Even though we go online, I think that in person sometimes is a better training and stuff. So we're kind of on hold with our trainings on the sports side of it. Everybody's doing the principals coaching, all that good stuff, but it's really nailing down the sports specific in that. And I know they're coming on the portal with a lot of that, but we also have some rules that doesn't match we do outside of SOIs and SONA's rules. So that's kind of a catch where we may do it as a coaches camp. Haley, we did for our coaches at our summer games, which was really, I just got creative because I didn't know what they needed or what they want. So we have 3 entrepreneurs in Special Olympics, and one of them is Jared's Jams, and he sells syrups, jams, he has his own shop. You can look it up, Jared Jams. And then we have Max's Seasoning out of St. Louis, and then we have Laren's Candles out of Kansas City. So what I did is I got boxes and I put a jam or syrup, a seasoning, and a candle in each and gave them a box that of our entrepreneurs. So we thought it was a little taste of our Special Olympics. Didn't have anything to do with sports or anything. We kind of did that. I gave over 250 boxes away. So I think it was kind of a just out of the ordinary, different, something different. That's what we're looking at. What's something different? But I like the tape measure because everybody, yeah, they don't know how to do meters.
So cute.
And I will say that the Taste of Missouri, the Taste of Somo that Susan put together for our coaches was an absolute hit. It was a great gift for our coaches, truly appreciated. And we've done some other things like that, but I do like the tape measure. We get that all the time as well, the wrong measurement. So that's a
We
great
did the
idea
big
too.
mug. That's our latest. We did the big mug. That's the latest. And then what we did was we put our athletes did thank you cards, and that's what we put inside was the thank you card. And that was for our outdoor games. So it was really cool.
Schaefer, where did you order those mugs from?
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look and then I'll send it to
Okay,
you.
okay. I
I have
was
a really
curious.
good vendor. She goes online and finds all my clearance. So these, I think I paid $1.75 for these. They were going out of, and they were going out of business. Going out of whatever. She's got me rally towels for 75 cents for USA Games. So look out. We're ordering a big old chunk of rally towels.
Okay, give me idea. I won't take your ideas this year. I'll wait.
Hey, I got a lot of new stuff. Oh, look out, Irvin. I might need your semi as you pass
But-
through.
So more magic. We're trying to find a place to park it right now. So,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I hear parking's horrible, but okay.
oh, that's awesome. For us, just thinking back to Luke, we have our coaches camp. Well, call it sports camp, athletes and coaches, but we have seen that a lot of the same coaches are coming. That's been the big issue. Everybody enjoys it, so we want them to come, but not many new coaches. Jen, Addie, and I are looking into doing a coaches conference as well. Jen oversees UCS, so we're trying to bring in liaisons, UCS coaches, traditional coaches, make sure we're bridging that gap as well. So we're working on something in that aspect. So we'll keep you posted on that if how that turns out and what we can put together.
So Irvin, on your coaches, your sports camp, because I came when it was Terry was had it going, me and Gary came down and seen it. So do you during that time certify coaches at all, or do you just train and have a crazy camp and all that? But do you do any like certifying any coaches during that time if they spend a week at camp and you're doing tennis, say? Do you
Y-
say, okay, that's your coach's training?
Yeah, we typically they can become certified in two sports during that time. So one sport during the morning session and then one sport during the afternoon session each day. We also try to implement CPR certification if anybody needs them. We have someone that trains our coaches in CPR as well, and then trying to come up with anything else. Like there are times we had one of our coaches is a can they were teaching our coaches to be officials. So if we ever come to that issue where we have lack of volunteers at an event, they can step in as officials. So we try to add some more things in there each time. But you just got to keep the wheels turning and come up with new ideas to keep it fresh.
So who pays for your CPR first aid? Because we at one time was kind of a mandation but it got so expensive that we were trying to pay for it, coaches were trying to pay for it. So do you guys pay for that or does you outright, how does
Uh,
that work?
for that one, the coaches pay for the card.
Okay.
We have all of the equipment for our nurses or clinician to teach CPR, those that are certified, and then they certify and the coaches just have to pay for the card
Which is
during
$6.
certification.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
good talks, good talks. Any other coaches questions? All right, let me see what time it is. Hold on. Oh, we're right at it. All right. So last question we had, and I guess this is for everyone, but what does your program do if there's a serious concern or allegation regarding the athlete? Second part, do you require your athletes to have background checks? Um, so I'll let you all answer that one because that's part of our question as well.
We don't have any bad athletes in Missouri. Uh, we kind of have a little bit of a task force. I have to say. So you speak of that. For those who don't know, we have our Training for Life campus, and I'll kind of give this as an example. Then, she came to an activity, has had some behaviors, left. Mom's very involved. Family's very involved in Special Olympics, and she had an incident. We kind of put her on a plan and then brought her back. She came back and had a major meltdown at our building. We kind of formed a task force within the staff, and we went over it and then gave what it is, as in, do we give her 6 months, 3 months, and then what did she has to come with a parent or a PA. We kind of did that on that situation on a behavior. And that was, I think Luke and Craig can side talk a little too, but we really form a task force. And we weren't involved in the incident, so it was Craig, Luke, and I kind of formed that and did it. But if I was involved with it, he would add another staff outside of that, and they would visit and talk about it. Now, Abby, oh, excuse me, has the right to rebel or send a letter back in and say, and what she has to do. And so she has to do some following things before she's allowed to come back to our building. So that's how we kind of have formed that. And we've done that even at some special events. It's just bad enough you're gone for the weekend. And then Monday morning or Tuesday morning, if it's bad enough, Luke is the task force leader, and then an area staff and administrative staff, they read. We have a form that has to be filled out, and then they read that form, gather information, and then they put what's going to happen. And that's the same way athlete coach.
And to expand on that, we do not require background checks. We do not run background checks on athletes unless an issue pops up or something is brought to our attention, which has happened. And then we will run a background check on certain athletes on a case-by-case basis. If there are serious accusations, for better or worse, we usually err on the side of caution and have a temporary suspension until the case is resolved. So, for instance, someone was charged with it was an athlete, but violence toward another special needs person. So they were charged with that, which is a serious issue. So there was a temporary suspension. We sent a certified letter and said, once charges are dropped or the case is resolved, reach out to us and we'll resolve the matter. That one was resolved. Others were, of a sexual nature, unfortunately, and those, again, we err on the side of caution with an immediate temporary suspension. If the case ends up, if they are convicted or other issues arise, then that's a more permanent ban, or we take it on a case-by-case basis. But we don't do background checks on all of our athletes.
So we currently, Irvin, have a case open kind of slash. They wrote on the registration that they were a pedophile. Okay, what do you do? Why did you write it? We'd never know. So we immediately started running background checks. It's a closed case. So we've been in talks with the caseworker. The athlete cannot participate until they fully come with information that we required for him to be involved in Special Olympics. So currently he cannot be involved in Special Olympics until they tell us what is happening. And because they wrote it on the paper, we know. So it's a case so the young man came to the bowling alley. Our area program staff and I spoke with the staff, and he immediately had to leave. I talked to the caseworker that day. She's supposed to follow up with me. She's yet to do that. So that's why he's suspended. He can't be involved.
Overall, seems like a case-by-case basis.
I think for us,
Trevor?
John would be the person to talk to.
Since I've been here, I know athletes don't do background checks. So like Trevor said, John is probably the person to talk to, but I do know that our athletes do not do background checks.
I think the only thing that has happened since I've been here was John had to have a meeting over an athlete's use of derogatory language, and that athlete was not allowed to participate in fall games, but that is, since I've worked here, the only thing that we've had to deal with. And usually, John will contact the coach, and then contact the parent, and then or guardian or anybody, and then have face-to-face meeting if that is necessary. But he would definitely be the person to talk to as far as stuff that's happened here in Oklahoma for that.
We do all of our stuff certified mail, so they get it, and we have it all a paper trail. We also have had a young man that you say in behaviors, he cannot come back until he takes behavior courses, some behavior stuff, because it was pretty bad. And so until he does that, he can't come back.
And in that case, it was it was a repeat violation, serious violation. There was a 1 year suspension, came back, same behaviors. So it was then a 3 year suspension with some guidelines of behavior management course, so a few other things requested.
Gotcha.
Urban, what do you guys do? Anything?
Now for us, it's just a case by case basis. We have a small committee, usually includes a board member, just to make sure everything's good. But we've had very rarely had any cases, knock on wood, wherever it's at. But very rarely had any cases as of recently. So another question for you all with that. I know Somo, you're big on athlete leadership and coaches as athletes. With the background check portion, do you require those athletes that are coaches to go through that? Okay, same certification process.
Yep, all of ours that are doing any type of stuff outside, like go to the Alps program, we're asking them to do a Class A background screening kind of thing. That's just part of our stuff. So like that we're taking 2 leaders to USA games this time. They all background screened everything with they protected behaviors because they're a part of what we're calling them. Irvin is a part of our support team, and if they see something that's not, then they can come to us. So
Irvin, you may have said this, but I may have missed it. Do you guys run background checks on all of your athletes or just as needed?
As needed for us, there was a situation that came up that our CEO was dabbling in if it was required. I think she might have reached out to your CEOs as well, asking what you all do in that process. But I was just curious, just trying to get feedback, as much feedback as possible. But as of now, it's just a case by case basis, like everyone else as well.
before Luke and Craig got hired, we would run if they were going to state and was staying in dormitories, hotels, we would run with the highway patrol. But we haven't done that since SOI kind of said you don't really have to run it, and our board kind of so we're really probably a case by case too, I would say.
Well, for today, thank you all. That's the last question I had. Anyone else has any questions you would like to ask before we
I just
jump
have
off?
one. If anybody, and it's just been lately, we've had a couple people on the registration form that it says likeness, use your photo name, emergencies, and all that, that they're refusing to sign that or be a part of that. Is what are you guys doing, or how do you guys track that you know they do not want to have likeness, use your name, all that good stuff?
Just a quick answer from me for us. We lean on the coaches heavily on that one because the coaches are aware that their athletes shouldn't be in photos. So we try to go that route. In addition, for big events, our credentials, we have them marked in a certain fashion where we know a red dot means no photos. All of our photographers, anyone's volunteering, are aware as well. So that's kind of how we kind of monitor it. But of course, with this day and age, you have live streaming, you have things like that we can't control, but anything that we can, that's what we try to, that's the best way we can see of doing it at the moment. So again, that's leaning on the coaches and just marking in some form or fashion.
So
Or,
are you
hey,
online with that, Irvin? So like our problem right now, and we're gonna fix it, is we don't have it's just all in one. Check it or it doesn't say yes or no. So that's our problem right now, but we're gonna change that. We're figuring it out how to how to change that. It's part of my job to figure that out. But if you did it online, there's no yes, no. It's just you got to click it or you don't click it. There's no yes, no.
Well, I'll Jen, I'll let you because Jen was heading it up as far as Jen, you there?
yep. Hey. So,
Mhm.
hi guys, how's it going? Sorry, I'm offline.
That's
I'm
right.
at a basketball tournament. But I will say that our registration through Smart Sheets, we have the paperwork, but then I also have an additional like, are you okay with your photo being used? So if that's ever marked no, we follow up with the coaches just as an extra precaution. And then we also internally have a document that we share that has the picture of the athletes that are not allowed to be photographed because we also partner with different photography companies that come out and do in-kind pictures for us at competitions. And they would get access to that to know who is not allowed to be photoed. And we also, as we're going through them, can comb and delete the photos through that aspect as well.
Yeah, we do orange wristbands, but we just got people that we got an email, very concerning email, and so we're taking a little step and looking at me and Luke are. So I just wondered what
Yeah.
other people do and stuff that yeah.
And you could probably use the Sona likeness that we use for USA games that's pulled out separate and just delete it from your registration. And the way we've got our set up, it's pretty easy to do it that way. But we do have like Special Olympics has a separate likeness sheet that you could use and on top of what you're already doing.
Yeah, I think I could that's what Luke and I talked about is just maybe separating it a little more and using a yes no button that they just don't sign it and then we move on. So yeah.
And
Thank
I
you.
have a meeting with someone from Sona next week to discuss some of these issues on what is truly required. Because if you look at the registration sheet, the newest one, it really doesn't give you an option to opt out of some of those agreements. It just says if you agree to this, sign at the bottom for the whole page. So I'm meeting with someone from Sona to get some guidance on what is truly required. We had questions about using information for research purposes as well. So if I get some good answers, I'll share with the group next meeting.
So yes,
I'm
please
not
do.
sure what we do. I'm not sure what we do in Oklahoma, but I've written it down on a sticky note, and I will ask John when he's back in the office.
I just think it's getting for us, it's getting very more noticeable that about photos and on because of socialism and all the stuff. We have one on USA Games. I told him we will not publish this, but if he gets streamlined or gets whatever, I can't stop that. So, but we have one on USA Games. Can't have his picture on social media at all. So,
Definitely a tough situation for sure. But yeah, Luke, if there's any updates, please send that over. Let us know what you figure out. And Trevor as well. If what John says, let us know. All right. Any other questions for the group? Sweet. Well, again, I will send out this recording.